Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
The beatdown. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Beatdown. I'm your host, Plaz, and my co-host,
Mr. J. What's happening?
Yeah. And what is it that you wanted them to remember, buddy?
Well, if you like these videos, we would like to remind you that you can go in the section below, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to share.
Yeah. And without further ado, today's combatant is pretty much, I guess you could say, old school versus new school. Now, this is a channel where two worlds collide. So, when I mean by old school versus new school, I'm talking old school tech versus highly advanced new school tech. So, this is going to be an interesting fight, I'll say the least. And today, I will be representing DC Comics' Bloodsport.
He's in prison for putting Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet.
All right. So, if you don't already know, Bloodsport was a member of the Suicide Squad. He's actually the new leader. And I didn't know before, he's actually an excellent marksman. Like, he had some precision shots.
Yes.
I thought he was kind of like here and there with that. But
No,
apparently
he's pretty good.
he's apparently the same as Deadshot. And if you guys know Deadshot's all about that whole being able to shoot at any particular point in any kind of precision possible. So, but as far as this guy, now let's talk about Bloodsport. Now, if you didn't watch the original origin stories of this gentleman, let me explain. He was drafted to the Vietnam War. He refused to go to the Vietnam War. His brother took his place. He lost his limbs. He went crazy, went to kill a bunch of people at a mall. Superman tried to stop him. Superman got shot with a bunch of kryptonite bullets. It wasn't until his brother came to tell him, "Don't do it, bro. Don't blow up the entire parking lot," that finally Bloodsport was able to stop his killing spree. But that was the old school comics. The new comic now, his brother and him fought in the war. His brother died. Oh no, wait. His brother died in the war.
He left.
Yeah, he left. His brother died in the war. He went crazy because of guilt. And that's why he winded up in the situation where he was, and he started becoming a crazy mercenary or assassin, I guess, an assassin. And in that one, he's got this new tech suit that, travels into different dimensions. So it's pretty dope. That being said, that was just like a quick brief about Bloodsport. Now, let's talk about the guy himself. He is an excellent fighter in hand-to-hand combat. And he could take a hell of a beating if he's able to fight interdimensional other creatures from another realm. On top of that, the thing that makes him the ace in the hole, the golden goose, is his infinite amount of arsenal weaponry that just comes boop and out of his hands. Whatever he can think of, it will come into his hands. It could be a blade made out of electricity. It could be a gun that shoots plasma rays. I don't know. But it could be a number of things that he thinks of, bam, it's coming out. He can get a bunch of different types of weapons. So that means he has an infinite amount of knowledge when it comes to any type of weapon that he can think of. So this is where I think this is how Bloodsport wins this fight. It's all about distance. Because to be honest, he has a much more better shot far than he does close. Let's get real. Frank Castle, if you don't know Frank Castle, go watch Daredevil season 2. That scene in the jail alone will tell you who Frank Castle is. Close range wise, I'm going to say Bloodsport might be able to kind of handle himself in the situation, but Frank's, I just think, can endure much more pain. So if this was a fist-to-fist situation, I just think he's going to be able to clock, punch his ticket in that essence. So, like I said, distance is going to be his best friend because he can create a different amount of weapons each and every time, be able to shoot him. Now, since he's pretty good at precision shots and he can create any kind of weapon he can think of, he could switch it up to a sniper rifle, take a couple shots, or he could switch it to a heavy machine artillery, or he can use even a bazooka at one particular point in the fight. He could just kind of conjure that up, blow up a building where Punisher is at or whatever, and then crumble it down. Punisher is strong, but I wouldn't be able to survive an entire building. I mean, I'm not the Incredible Hulk. On top of that, So as far as any kind of weaknesses or like any kind of shot Punisher will probably get, I don't think old school weapons are gonna do it in this fight. For Frank, he won't be able to shoot him. I think the armor that he possesses is a little too advanced in tech. I feel like if it's able to travel into interdimensional without melting his head or, you know, destroying his body, then I think it's durable enough to manage any kind of regular bullets that might come at him. Now, obviously, there's other types of weapons you can use in this type of situation. But as long as Bloodsport keeps it at a fair long-range ground, he'll be able to keep the ability to kill Punisher a lot more faster. It'll be much more easier for him to take out his target that way. But like I said, and on top of that, he could conjure up a little, even in a moment where they were to meet up face-to-face, I got to think that Bloodsport would improvise because these weapons come out of nowhere like instantaneously. So maybe he decides at that moment, if Punisher gets too close, pulls out a grenade out of nowhere, just conjures that up, throws it at him, or some kind of EMP electromagnetic pulse rifle that he just shoots right at him at that moment when he's coming right at him. The thing is, it's about timing. It's about getting Frank to kind of expose himself so that way he can conjure that weapon if he was into a close encounterment. If Frank comes at him with no fear and all that stuff, sometimes Frank does that. Frank's more cautious sometimes, but at times he's a pretty tough guy where he thinks like he's going in there and he's seeing red. He's like, I'm going in. Nothing's going to stop me. Nothing. So in that situation, if that does happen in this fight, then I do believe Bloodsport could conjure a weapon that could take him out at that particular moment, if he were to get close up. But like I said, his best friend is gonna be distance. Keep him far, keep him away from you, keep him from engaging with you up close. And Bloodsport's got this with all the infinite amount of weapons he's got. He's got this in the bag.
Alright, well, today I will be representing Marvel's Frank Castle, also known as the Punisher. Now, my counter argument would have to be, you know, obviously, as he said, distance is going to be Bloodsport's his best friend. So, the only way you can counter distance, get up close, get up personal. There's a number of things Frank could use to maybe slow Bloodsport down. He could use a Molotov cocktail. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's basically just a liquor bottle with a rag in it. Light the rag on fire, throw it, it breaks. Whatever it breaks on, you know, is completely encased in flame. Now, will that be enough to kill or damage Bloodsport? No, probably not. As he's said, and he's mentioned once or twice, the suit and the helmet itself are designed to withstand interdimensional travel. However, while you're being encased in flame, whether or not you're wearing armor or not, it has to impair your judgment and your timing and your abilities. You know, you are on fire. You are gonna, you know, whether you have a fire retardant suit or not, or fire resistant, you know, you still feel that heat. That sensation is still there. So it has to throw you off just a little bit. And as everyone knows, with Frank Castle, if you're off your game just a little bit, that's all he needs to take the win home. As I've said before in our other videos with Frank, he has killed the entire Marvel universe. Why was I going to say DC? He has killed the entire Marvel universe. And if you know the Marvel universe and you know the people who are in that lineup, you know that is a difficult thing to do. Very tough task. But moving on to Bloodsport, like I said, throw him off his game, throw off his depth perception, throw off, you know, his timing. You know, if he doesn't have the ability to stop, think, and conjure his weapons or take aim, you know, he's going to be off. He's either going to miss his shot or he's going to drop his weapon or something like that. You know, up close and personal, I believe Frank can disarm him. Now, if he takes one of Bloodsport's own weapons and use it against him, you know, I'm not sure how many times, you know, Bloodsport can get hit like that.
No, I can't imagine it work out.
Frank has a couple little, you know, tricks up his sleeve as well. And, a lot of people forget about the battle van.
Yeah.
It's kind of been somewhat forgotten about in the comics, but it gets used from time to time. For those of you who don't know what the battle van is that pretty much James Bond van he had in the Spiderman animated comics. Show. I think he's had it in the comics once or twice, but basically what it does is it tracks Frank's location and it acts almost as if an AI. He gives out a command and the battle van launches. It goes towards Frank's location and it launches a weapon. It can also launch diversions. It can launch a concussive grenade, which can blind or stun. But also Frank could have one of his own. He could have a high frequency weapon to where he can kind of throw off his perception. Also, I want to say Frank is just a little bit more militarily trained. Now, everyone's like, well, Deadshot has a military background. It's like, well, he only has so much training, because you forget he went over there, but he left. He didn't fight in the Vietnam War. Frank did. Frank stayed. He endured it. He obviously rose to a higher rank within the military. Up close and personal, if Frank has the just enough time to kind of prep himself and get the heavy weaponry that he needs, whether it be a grenade launcher, high frequency weapons, concussive grenades, landmines would also help. Look, Bloodsport is great and his armor's awesome, but if you step on a landmine, I don't really know how many of those you can step on.
Yeah, that's true.
Dimensional travel or not, up close and personal with some landmines and some concussive grenades and maybe even a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher, it's going to take bits and pieces off that armor. And if Bloodsport's just a little bit woozy and wobbly, Frank can disarm him and use his own weapons against him. So I think that's going to be just enough to take this win home. And who knows? Maybe even Frank will have a knife made of adamantium. Who knows? Maybe that could be the key to penetrating his armor. The armor is awesome and it's impressive, and that's going to be really what his key to defense is. However, you even seen it in the movie. It wears out eventually. It can be damaged. His helmet can be damaged as well as the armor. He's not completely bulletproof.
They have those grenade launchers that are attached to like a heavy machine weapon, like forget what it's called.
They use it's an undermount. It really fires like one off, but still, if Frank is carrying a couple on him, he can just reload it and use it again.
Yeah, he could just keep shooting Bloodsport with it, like in the chest.
Compensate for wind. Make the glue stronger, webhead.
So we already made pretty much our case. My case is, distance-wise, Bloodsport has it, and the armor will keep him kind of in the fight for as long as he needs to in order to eliminate the Punisher. And my boy's argument, what was your point, my brother?
Up close and personal, I think Frank is way too strong, way too ruthless, and just brutal. And over time, he's going to crack that suit.
All right. So, as always, guys, it's not up to me, and it's not up to my boy here.
It is not.
You guys. You guys get to decide.
All 41 of you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We got to 41. Boom. Let's hope we keep to that one more, because usually it's at 40. It keeps going and teetering. I want to go. Let's keep it at 41.
I know who the 41 is. Thank you, my man, for subscribing. I appreciate the support.
All right. Well, as always, guys, we really appreciate you guys. If you guys like my argument, you know what you can do. You can hashtag DC'sBloodsport.
That's right.
And if you like my boy's argument, you know what you can hashtag? What you can hashtag, bro?
The Punisher.
Yeah. And as always, guys, we really appreciate you guys. No press spam. Catch you guys later. Peace.